Yeah.
We'll have to stand in the corner if we're bad.
I'm having problems with my videos, so I'll try to rectify that.
I bet you are.
Mostly because of what he's wearing.
Drum roll, please.
Jesus.
I bet you are.
God almighty. Copy. Oh, let's see if I can paste it. Almighty. Uh, Copy. Copy. Just bear with me.
No worries. We're going to relax and take our time. It's Christmas.
It is Christmas indeed.
We're going to be kind. We're going to be calm.
Oh no, I got the wrong paste. Changes with this card. A couple of minutes late, are we?
Yeah, how you making out?
Yeah, I just couldn't copy the website. Just give me 1 second here. Maybe a minute. Okay. Let me go back. I can't see. Oh, jeez. I can't see this. Why am I on YouTube? Is it on what? I can't copy it. Okay. can't copy, man.
Not working?
Oh. I just can't copy. Okay, now I got it. No. The hell is it? Jeez. Facebook. No, I lost it.
Switch still on?
Yeah, they're still on. I'm having a hell of a time here. I thought this was be the easiest one. Now I don't see it at all. Oh, calendar. Wow. What's that? I'm not mute. Okay. I gotta do it. Yeah. That's simple. What's that?
Okay, we're all set.
Okay, everybody's back with us now. Are our guests with us as well, Joe? Okay, so before we start tonight's meeting, I'd just like to acknowledge that this meeting is taking place on the traditional unceded territory of the Subasset First Nation. Also, I've written a small script.
I'll wait till you're.
Small script for chairs of meetings to read should they desire. I will forward it to you later. You can choose to reword it or not use it at all for future meetings that you chair. So just a couple things that we might need reminders of during these virtual meetings. So I would just like to remind staff and council that we are live streaming this meeting on our Lake Cowichan YouTube channel. Also, I would like to remind everyone to please mute their microphones while not speaking, with the exception of the chair of a meeting. For the public, we have two portions of all our meetings that are for public participation, and they are as follows. Verbal comments from the public on subsequent agenda items, maximum 3 minutes per speaker and a maximum allotted time of 15 minutes. We will pause the meeting for 3 minutes to allow residents to email their comments to general@lakecowichan.ca. Comments can also be emailed prior to the meeting. Also, for the public, we have question period, a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker and a maximum time allotted of 15 minutes. We will pause the meeting for 3 to 5 minutes to allow residents to email questions to general@lakecowichan.ca. Questions can also be emailed prior to or following the meeting to the above email address to be answered by the appropriate committee chair. Some questions may be referred to staff for a response. Thank you to the public for attending our virtual meeting. So with that, I will go to the agenda. And I'd like to call this meeting to order. Is there any introduction of late items from council? I see no hands. There is one that we need to deal with before year end, and that's the position of deputy mayor. It's been brought to my attention that it's been a yearly rotation, and it's time to do that again, apparently. So business arising or new business, Mr. Fernandez. Mr. Fernandez?
Mr. Mayor, there are two items under in camera, if I could add those.
Yes, please.
One under section 91, dealing with people, persons being considered for a position appointed by the municipality.
Thank you.
And the other one is under section 191K, possible negotiations and related discussions respecting the provision of a municipal service.
So thank you for those two items for in camera. Any further additions? All those in favor of adopting this agenda with the amendments, moved by Councillor Sandhu, second by Councillor Austin. All those in favor? Opposed, the motion's carried. Thank you much. We're looking for motions to adopt the minutes of the regular meeting held on November 24th, 2020. Moved by Councillor Vomaka, second by Councillor McGonigal. Any questions? All those in favor? Opposed? That motion's carried. Thank you. Also, we have the minutes of the special meeting of council held on December 15th, 2020. Moved by Councillor Austin, second by Councillor McGonigal. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you very much. So that moves us to item 4, business arising and unfinished business. So we have two persons on council that are haven't assumed the position of deputy mayor, and that's Councillor Austin and Councillor Sandhu. Apparently, it was done by a straw in previous years to this, but I just like to put this on the table for council consideration. I've heard comments from one councillor that they might be happy to give way, but I'll let council speak to that if they wish. Councillor McGonigal, thank you.
I would suggest we go alphabetically. I would put Councillor Austin forward as deputy mayor for this year.
Good choice. Thank you, Councillor McGonigal.
Thank you. That works. Alphabetical works.
So we don't need a motion for that, do we? Or doing an official motion, Mr. Fernandez?
Mute.
Please unmute, Joseph.
Yes, indeed, it would be appropriate.
Okay, moved by Councillor McGonigal, seconded by Councillor Sandu. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations, Councillor Austin. You'll be the deputy mayor for the next 12 months and a bit. Okay. That means we can move on to verbal comment from the public on a subsequent item on the agenda. We may not need the total 3 minutes, Councillor, or Mr. Fernandez.
Your worship, we'll be looking at somebody after that for deputy mayor.
Oh, okay. So we'll go to that item then. For the following year, after Councillor Austin's term is up, we'll be looking at Councillor Sandu be the only councillor who hasn't sat as deputy mayor. So looking for a motion for that name or somebody else's. Councillor Austin?
You can add that to the original motion if you wish. So
Okay.
for year one will be Councillor Austin. For the final year will be Councillor Sandu.
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, moved by Councillor McGonigal, seconded by Councillor Bromacka. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you very much. All right. So that probably killed a minute and a half. Now, Mr. Fernandez, are you set to check general@lakecowichan.ca for
I can.
comments? Please unmute. Thank you. Councillor Austin.
Aren't the delegations coming before verbal? Isn't delegations 5 and verbal 6, or have I got the wrong agenda?
Oh, sorry. I skipped one item.
There you go. I'm just being a deputy mayor to you.
That's all right. I made a whole bunch of notes and I'm not following them. So that'll give the public some extra time. We'll wait for Mr. Fernandez to come back.
Guess I was a bit early, Your Worship, but there are no emails anyways. So we've got a delegation now. Okay.
Yes, delegations, we have Brent Clancy and Catherine Worsley from the Cowichan Lake District Chamber of Commerce to give their presentation. Welcome, folks, and you have 10 minutes.
Hi, good evening, Your Worship, councillors and Mr. Fernandez. Merry Christmas to you all. Hope everyone's doing well, safe and healthy. We're just here as a delegation for the purpose of renegotiating the 5-year contract. We've had a Zoom call with Mayor Bob Day, Ian Morrison, and Klaus Kuhn unfortunately sent his regrets, but has been updated on that Zoom from Ian Morrison. I've personally come in last year and we had about a 40-minute discussion regarding, what's happening now. And we have provided a proposal yesterday via email to Mr. Fernandez, which I hope you guys have and have had time to review. It has some changes to our 5-year proposal, which I can go over now. Basically, I'll just start from the top of the changes of the proposal. One of the main changes, which was discussed during that Zoom call with representatives of each stakeholder, was from Ian Morrison discussing that the contract be moved to a 2-year contract, which would coincide with the next election, ending at the next election. And the purpose and rationale behind this would be to change how the areas and the town pays for the visitor center by means of changing it from a grant system into a line item system. And this would allow for a set amount of money put aside that would also lead to a little increased flexibility were grants not available to us, as has been the case in the past. So this would lead to a little bit more flexibility so the visitor center can operate the same hours and with the same staffing and providing the same services that we do provide. I'll go over some of the other changes that we've sent in the proposal. Please feel free to stop me if you have any questions, or we can do that at the end. So the main one, this would be for the 2-year contract, with the idea of having either a referendum, there's essentially 3 ways to put this on the ballot. It can be there, and I'm sorry if I'm a little ignorant on all the technicalities.
Just
was connected on it.
Mr. Clancy, could I just interrupt for a second? Councilor McGonigal had a question.
Oh, that's fine. He's starting to clarify now that it would have to be implemented as a function outside of a grant. You have an AAP process, alternate approval process, referendum, and I don't know what the third one would be.
Thank you, Councilor McGonigal. Okay, carry on, Mr. Clancy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ian. And I've got it all written down from the notes from that one Zoom, and my apologies for not being up to speed on the technicalities for that. Anyway, essentially, Ian said there's 3 methods to have this put on for line item. And this would kind of expedite the 5-year process, make it a little bit easier going forward. So it would add some conveniences and some backstops were funding not to come, because if you do the long-term outlook, additional funding for students hasn't been available essentially 50% of the time if you do a longer term view. When there's bad economic times, it seems to coincide with funding being cut for the student grants and different grants that help us operate the visitor center. And then moving on to the other changes we've placed in the service agreement contract. I'll just go from the top moving down. Would be item C, would be permit the contractor to place a mobile visitor service unit in one of the parking stalls in front of the premise at 125 South Shore Road. for the purpose of showcasing the area, the businesses and the visitors. We had done this in the summer and then had moved it during the winter, which would, we would assume be the same process, but we just wanted to make this official so there wasn't breaking any bylaws, as we did speak to Mr. Fernandez regarding this. So we'd like just to make that official and have a designated parking spot. So there's no bylaws being broken or any problems with that. The second one would be on page 3, item H, would be the town would be responsible for timely repairs that affect the safety of staff and visitors. If timely repairs cannot be arranged by the town, the contractor may proceed with repairs, with all emergency repair costs being reimbursed to the contractor. So this is essentially, if there's a leaky roof and it starts dripping on the computers, which would cause damage, if the town's not able to have that fixed in a proper manner, then we would be able to get a contractor in to fix it. So, this would come in emergency situations, not routine maintenance. Other ideas, like if there was a broken stair that needed to be repaired immediately, that'd be another thing. We would obviously provide all the receipts and stuff, but this would just expedite if there's any emergency repairs that need to be done that would hinder the safety and operations of the visitor center. So that'd be one change we like as well. The next one, item K, would be reimburse the contractor for the prorated cost. And sorry, I've got the highlighted ones. The verbiage might be slightly different in the one we've sent you, but it has the same meaning. Reimburse the contractor for the prorated cost of any visitor center advertising, such as maps or brochures, which the town is notified and a stakeholder in. So this is essentially every period. We just ordered 5,000 maps again at our AGM. The councillors were there, gave their input on additions and changes, which have done. We'd like this to be in writing, so when additional advertising and brochures are needed to be purchased, that it is a cost shared between all of the stakeholders, Area IF, and the town, because there has been some problems within the past through the history of the visitor center. So we'd like that to be rectified as well. And then the other one would actually be an omission, item J, so before the K. Currently it reads, make payments of the annual water, sewer, and garbage utility charge, which payments shall be deducted from the first annual payments made to the contractor. We would like to take off the utility electricity charge. I can go into the rationale. I've explained this to Councillor Bob Day. I think it would be best if we do want to discuss this to possibly put this off the off record or off video, just because there's some sensitive issues regarding why. But we can go on that if you'd like. So that would be the other change. Yeah, so essentially we would still pay all telephone and internet charges, but the $100 charge for the utilities, we would like that taken off. And then the final one would be the oh sorry, there's two more. The other one would be the increase in payments. So we've basically since we've done the 5-year contract, wages have increased by 40% from the I've got the period from 1085 to, or 1035 to the 1460, or you could use the 1085 when we first started in the 2016, September 15th to the June 1st, 2021 would be a 40% increase. We've got the breakdown of that. And then we've got the future wage inflation to consider as well. So due to the cost increases of the operations, we're looking for additional funds in the amount of $50,000 for the 2-year contract, shared between Area I, F, and the town of Lake Cowichan, the 3 stakeholders. And the final change that we are looking at would be item 6 on page 5, which would be rather than having the 4 installment payments, breaking that down to 2 installment payments. And this would just be kind of for ease of use operations, as we have found that there's just a lot of times there's delays in the payments coming in, and it just might be simpler to have this broken down to 2 installment payments rather than the 4, which it's currently at. So those would be the changes that were discussed during last week's Zoom with the stakeholders, and just myself summarizing those changes, which are all present in the document we've sent yesterday to you. Yeah, so if you have any questions, please, I'll turn over the floor or the microphone.
Thank you very much. Any questions from council? To the delegation, Council McGonigal.
Just a comment, if I may. I read the proposal, perused it, and I think it's appropriate that we not make any decisions tonight. We don't make decisions on a delegation presentation, but I would suggest that we do need further discussion on some of the items that have been brought forward as proposals for amendments, and that this should probably reside in camera, as it is a contract negotiation. So I would suggest that we move this to an appropriate meeting at the earliest convenience for staff and council to discuss the changes that have been broached by the chamber, and perhaps move forward in a timely manner to get that expedited at the earliest convenience in the new year. So I'd like to see this move forward, if I may, Mayor Day, to the first Finance and Administration meeting in camera for some further discussion and input from council.
Thank you very much, Councilor McGonigal. That's a good suggestion. And Councilor Sandu.
Just a question with the $50,000 split between area I, F, and the town. Is that equally, or is that, how is the ratio on that?
Mr. Clancy.
Yes, thank you. Within the service for fee contract, currently there's a line item. I could look at it, but essentially there's an item that says the town shall not pay more than the area I and F combined. So essentially area I and F are 25, 25, and the town is 50. That's how the previous agreements have been worked from the history that I know for at least the last 2 service agreements.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Catherine Worsley. Ms. Worsley, just unmute, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just wanted to clarify with Brent that with the 50,000, 25,000 would belong to the town, and then 25,000 would be split between the area F, area I, which is 1250 for each area F and area I, which brings it to the total of $25,000 each, $50,000 in total.
Thank you, Ms. Worsley. All right, Councilor Vomeka.
Is the First Nations at all, being that we do advertise at the visitor center for them, do they make a financial contribution?
Hi, thank you, Councillor Vomeka. I have spoken with Aaron Hamilton at length. He does want an advertising and tourist presence for the First Nations. Unfortunately, at this time, they can't commit any funds. So any agreement that would have to be made would have to be at a later date. His thoughts were essentially kind of like, in 12 months, this is something that, we can kind of start trying to lay the groundwork down for the future. But at this time, no. But he certainly is interested in, becoming possibly a future stakeholder. But, he says, he doesn't want to equal, because it's, if you go on land basis, they only owe so much. Anyway, we had a long conversation about it. There's certainly some opportunity there to bring them in, but they certainly have some needs that they would want addressed and looked at. But he does see the value of having a presence with the visitor center and having their interest promoted for their businesses and area. But at this time, there is no funds that can be committed, and it may be that they just go to an outside source. But he's, we've been in discussions, but at this time, there's no funds that would be coming in from them in the foreseeable future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clancy. Mr. Fernandez? Unmute, please. You're still muted, Mr. Fernandez.
The issue of repair costs, the maintenance, utility costs, is that entirely the town's responsibility? Am I still on? Sorry.
Yeah.
I just
Mr.
was curious.
So, Brent or Catherine, do you have a answer, Ms. Worsley?
Hi, sorry, I apologize. I didn't quite catch the question. If it could be repeated, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the issues relating to repair costs, emergency repairs, as you indicated earlier, the utilities, is that a shared cost or is that entirely the town's responsibility?
So currently, the repair costs for the roof and the building, because the building is the property of the town of Lake Cowichan. It's the town of Lake Cowichan's responsibility. We have, if you look at the old contract, been paying a fee for the electricity. I would like to go in greater detail that at a later date for the rationale why we don't think we should be paying that. But yeah, so currently the repairs are the town of Lake Cowichan. We would just like some assurance, or if the crew or the town of Lake Cowichan, say we can't get to this roof in 3 months, it's leaking, and we're going, oh well, all merchandise and computers are going to be destroyed, it's not safe. We would basically like to have a backstop so those repairs can be done without having detrimental effect on the building, staff, and operations. Obviously, if it can be done in a timely manner, we would like the town staff to do it, but we just like something there that if it cannot be done in a timely manner, there's an alternative method to do it. As we have had problems with the stairs before and so on. So we just like something there for assurance, because it would affect the safety and operations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clancy. Any further hands at this time? Just reminding everybody we are going to be discussing this at the next Finance and Admin. So Councillor Sandhu and then Councillor Vomaka.
We can discuss it later. So if the town did grant you in the contract the right to be able to reach out to another contractor or something, like, would you tender, like go out and get prices? Like, we got to look at the bigger picture. Like last minute things can be really expensive. So there's a lot of little things that will make the decision on that. So I just want to know for you, how you guys would go about and finding somebody else to do it now.
Well, thank you for the question. So the idea would be, if anything were to happen, which has happened in the past, we would certainly contact the town of Lake Cowichan first, as we would be mandated to do so, to let you guys know. And then within that communication, we would gather whether the town of Lake Cowichan and the staff there would have means to fix in the timeline on that. And then we would hope this would be a collaboration. So if it could not be done in a timely manner due to staffing requirements and other things on the whatever, it would then be like, okay, is this designated emergency? I would say, a leaky roof, that, would be a good example. It's going on the computer, we can't operate if water is draining into the building. I would say if that would be one of the stipulations, that we tendered out to 2 or 3 contractors and then go with the best price, that would completely be fine with me. I would just like something in place that if that issue were to come, that we have a game plan for.
Thank you very much. Catherine Worsley.
Also, I think, am I on? Yes.
Yep.
Also, I think it would depend on the severity of the emergency. And if the town is not able to put their workers to it, then they could suggest that we take care of it ASAP. And with computers, we could move around the room, but depending on the severity as well, would definitely make it a change factor for getting things done.
Thank you.
And just, this wouldn't be for typical, just normal maintenance repairs. This would be just for emergencies. You know, like the broken stair where now people can't enter the premise, or, you know, they might fall down and create a liability claim, leaky roof, things of those natures. You know, say a vandalism, a broken window or something, just something that is, you know, needing of immediate attention. And if that immediate attention cannot be done via the stakeholders, then there's an alternative method to be done, so that, you know, it's just not sitting there, or the chamber goes and reimburses the money and then, you know, doesn't get reimbursed or something. So we just like something in place were that to happen. There is a procedure in place.
Thank you. Councillor Vomaka.
Hi, thank you. When you're discussing the mobile unit being put on town property at the front, is the mobile unit insured all year if it's sitting there, or just temporarily insured?
I see a head nodding.
Yeah, Catherine, I believe it's all year, right? We do a yearly insurance on that. Just confirm.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's
Right.
yeah, it's insured all year. Yes.
Thank you very much. Any further questions for the delegation? I see no hands, so I'll say thank you very much for joining us tonight and making your presentation. And our finance admin in January, you could see it on our website if you want to follow along, but it'll be in camera, so you won't be able to watch our discussions. So thank you very much. I see Councillor McGonigal clapping. Merry Christmas to you all if we don't see you before, and look forward to a very happy new year. And anybody who wants a vaccine, I hope they get one. Okay, thanks guys.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Everyone, Merry
Stay
Christmas
safe.
and be safe. And yeah, to you and your families. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.
How do I go out?
Just waiting for one member to leave the meeting.
I'm trying to leave.
If you want to watch, you can go to
Oh.
our YouTube stage channel.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, so I'm sure, oh, she got it. All right, so the verbal comment section, we've been there and the emails have been checked and there were none. So that means we can move to correspondence, and there is none at this time. And okay, so we can move along to reports. Council and committee reports. Number 1, Finance and Administration, Councillor McGonigal.
Thank you, Mayor Day. I'd like to move the minutes of the Finance Administration meeting held electronically on December 8th with the following recommendation. That the committee recommend approval of the Lake Cowichan Fire Department incident report in the amount of $8,970.62 for October 2020. Also, that the committee recommend approval of the Lake Cowichan Fire Department incident report in the amount of $13,666.31 for November 2020. The committee recommend that the town of Lake Cowichan does not permit pre-1990 buildings and structures to be relocated or moved into Lake Cowichan. That the committee recommend that council and committee meeting schedule for 2021 as presented be approved. That the committee recommend that staff be directed to formulate a new animal husbandry bylaw and to amend the zoning bylaw to allow for backyard chickens. The committee recommend that a letter of support be provided to the Lake Cowichan First Nation on its regional community to community forum program 2020-2021 application. That the committee recommend that the town of Lake Cowichan establish a strategic planning committee of the whole to be held the second Tuesday of each month. And with those, I will move those minutes.
Thank you very much, Councillor McGonigal. Could we have a seconder, please? Seconded by Councillor Sandhu. Any discussion on those minutes? All those in favor? Opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you very much. We'll move along to number 2, Public Works and Environmental Services. Councillor Womaka, your report, please.
Thank you. I'd like to move the minutes of the Public Works and Environmental Services Committee meeting held electronically on Tuesday, December the 15th of 2020. And I think we have, well, let me find it. That the committee recommend that the organic collection program be instituted on a bi-weekly basis for the period from November 2021 to January 2022 on a pilot project basis.
All right. Could I have a seconder for those minutes, please? Seconded by Councillor Austin. Any discussion on those minutes? Motion, all those in favor? Opposed, motion is carried. Thank you so much. Number 3, the Parks and Recreation and Culture Committee meeting held on December 15th. Councillor Austin.
Thank you. I'd like to move the minutes of the Parks, Recreation and Culture Committee held electronically on December 15th, 2020, as presented with one question, if I may. Once
Yes.
I seconder.
Seconded by, sorry, didn't see the hand. Councillor McGonigal.
We seem to have in camera on there twice. I don't recall that. You've got an in camera section right under the word agenda. I'm wondering if that was something we were questioning. I don't remember that. Discussion under 91E and 91K.
Mr. Fernandez.
Just don't recall that.
Can you repeat that question?
When you look at the minutes, after number 2 agenda, right underneath it says in camera, a matter requiring discussion under 90.
Yes.
Yeah, was that, I don't recall that. Was that something?
Yes, that you will. We've got the minutes for that in the
Okay.
closed session, so you will then.
Okay, because it's at the bottom as well. Only
Yes, we did have an in camera. I think the mayor called for the in camera at that meeting.
Okay, all right, thank you. That was all.
You remember that, Mr. Mayor?
We will when we see. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we had a mover and a seconder. All those in favor of those minutes? As permitted. Thank you. Nobody opposed? Okay, then we can move on to number 4, Cowichan Lake Rec Commission. There was a meeting via WebEx last Thursday, December 17th. The only highlight that came from that meeting was that the Recreation Commission is moving forward with a partnership with the Lake Cowichan Secondary School for the construction of a climbing wall. And I will find that report and forward it to you all. So you can have a look at what they're going to be doing there. They've also set aside $10,000 to put towards that project. So that's kind of exciting. That'll give the community an opportunity to get involved in an activity there in the high school gymnasium. And the current principal of the high school was the originator of the climbing wall at Mount Prevost School, I believe. And it's a program that all the grade 8s in the district all had to attend as part of their curriculum. So I'm sure he'll be integrating this into a curriculum for all the students in Lake Cowichan School. So that's exciting news about that. Other than that, I haven't received any minutes on that yet. I will look them up and send them forward to the administrator to file, but that was the only item of interest on that agenda. Thank you very much. Next, we can move to number 5, Vancouver Island Regional Library, Councillor Austin.
Thank you. No meeting until January, and then Councillor Womaka will be taking over for that. But we did have a couple of letters. One is regarding the Executive Director, Rosemary Bonanno, who will be retiring in September. of this 2021. And also a letter that I didn't know if I'd sent it to you or not, but from the Village of Queen Charlotte regarding libraries as an essential service. So we discussed this at our last meeting. They didn't want every community to send a letter to Premier Horgan, but the Village of Queen Charlotte had asked to do that. So they sent a letter. I'll send that along so you can see what they said, because it's 2 pages. I won't read it now. And I believe the next meeting is in January, and I believe it's the AGM.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Austin, for that report. The Advisory Planning Commission, Councillor Austin again.
I'll just stay on here. Yes, no meeting until, I think we're going to have one in January. It will most likely be a Zoom. Is that correct, Mr. Fernandez?
Right. That's what we're hoping for.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions from council on those 2 reports from Councillor Austin? Seeing none, we can go to item number 7, Community Forest Co-op, Councillor McGonigal.
Nothing to report this month, Mayor Day.
Thank you very much. So under other reports, we have the Cowichan Valley Regional District Board meeting, Councillor McGonigal.
Lots to report on that one. December 9th was a marathon session of approximately 10 hours virtually in the process of budget discussions. So those mandated increases of 0% that was brought forward by the board, those that cannot adhere to the 0% have to have a business case scenario. And the majority of the discussion in those meetings was the business case scenarios that have come forward. Nothing has been finalized yet. There is a corporate services meeting in January to continue on the budget discussions. The hospital board also met that day, and their budget was approved. As you are quite aware, the whole CBRD Board of Directors also sits as the hospital board, and that budget was moved forward. So with those continuing discussions, it's moving forward to January for further budget clarification and input. Hopefully not another 10-hour session, but I'm sure it'll be long. Once that is finalized, we'll have the final numbers on the increase. I'm quite sure that with the impact of solid waste, for instance, transit, that there will be no 0% increase, but the directors are adamant to keep it as low as possible. So one of the things you heard from the delegation, for instance, was the implementation of perhaps a new function, which would impact tax increases within the regional portion that we do pay for, whether it's a tripartite activity or just ourselves. So that's another thing to keep in mind, whether the taxation stays local or goes to the regional district within that function. So moving forward, I will report in January on the further budget discussions. And as I reported last meeting, Chair Stone has been reintroduced as the chair for this upcoming year, and Director Salmon as the vice chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor McGonigal. Any questions for Councillor McGonigal on the CBRD report?
Those are also on YouTube if you wish to follow along. Entertaining at times, I might add.
Thank you, Councillor McGonigal. Maybe you could time plot the items so we don't have to sit through 10 hours. Councillor Austin.
I have a question. If you could send me the link, because I went on YouTube the other day and I tried and tried even to get the Recreation Commission one up and it wouldn't come up. So I'm missing something. If you could send a link.
I will forward you the hot link for sure.
Please, thank you. I'm not going to stay on for 10 hours though.
All right. The beauty of YouTube is you just slide the cursor across. Thank you. Any more questions for Councillor McGonigal? Okay, then looks like we're going back to Councillor Austin for other report number 2, Community Outreach Team.
No
Committee.
meeting till January. So I'm hoping we'll have a full complement in January and do some organizations. It's a great team of people when they can all get together. It's just been difficult for this last little month. So January will be our next meeting, the 3rd Thursday, I think.
Thank you, Councillor Austin. Moving along to number 3, our Cowichan Communities Health Network, Councillor Sandu.
So we had no meeting in December, so our next meeting is January 14th, 2021, and they are attempting to do Zoom. So
All right,
I will
thank
keep you
you.
posted.
We beat them. They'll get the hang of it pretty quick.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, back to Councillor Sandu again with the Cowichan Watershed Board.
So our next meeting is January 25th, 2021.
All right, Councillor McGonigal.
Through to you, if I may, you and the CAO. There was a representation from the town of Lake Cowichan on the technical advisory group for the weird design. It was previously previous Mayor Peters. I think there's been a discussion at the Cowichan Watershed Board of an appointment of Councillor Sandu to sit on that. I'm wondering if this would be the appropriate time to place her within that forte. If so, I would move that Councillor Sandu be the town's representative on the technical advisory group that has been vacated by the departure of previous Mayor Peters.
Thank you, Councillor McGonigal. And the CAO has nodded his head that this would be appropriate, and a great choice as well. Councillor Austin, are you seconding? Yes, thank you very much. Councillor McGonigal.
And just to follow up, I think that's a continuity item. She has been involved with the Watershed Board and with the technical advisory members who also are sitting within the 2 committees. So I think for continuity and continuance, it's important that we keep that going and moving forward.
Thank you very much. Any more comments on that motion? Then I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much, Councillor Sandu, for being a part of that. That's going to be a very important set of committees to belong to in the next few years here. We appreciate that and look forward to your reports. All right, then we can move along to staff reports. We have the Chief Administrator Officer regarding commission membership appointments to the Advisory Planning Commission. You heard earlier that we have moved that item to in camera. We have more applicants than positions, so we'll discuss that later on tonight. So thank you very much. Then we can move on to bylaws. Bylaw A, Town of Lake Cowichan, fees and charges for services, bylaw 1044-2020 may be reconsidered and adopted. Mr. Fernandez.
Your worship, that bylaw has been given first, second, and third reading. And it basically, the major change in that is in the development fees revisions, but otherwise very minor changes. And so it's here for adoption.
All right, motion to adopt that. Moved by Councillor Austin. Seconded by Councillor Sandu. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you. B, Town of Lake Cowichan Water Regulations and Rates Bylaw number 1045-2020 may be reconsidered and adopted. Mr. Fernandez?
Yes, your worship, again, this bylaw has been given 3 readings, and it deals with changes to the utility rates for 2021 and 2022, and has made some changes in terms of the connection fee charges. We've been fairly low in that respect, so this will bring us to a reasonable level of charges.
Thank you very much. Looking for a mover, Councillor McGonigal, seconded by Councillor Vomaka. Any more discussion on that bylaw? And I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Seeing none opposed, that motion is carried. The bylaw is adopted. Then C, Town of Lake Cowichan Sewer Regulations and Rates Bylaw number 1046/2020 may be reconsidered and adopted. Mr. Fernandez.
Again, this is a case of a utility bylaw that looks at revisions to rates for 21 and 22. And we have connection fees that will be brought to a reasonable level so that we don't end up subsidizing those areas. So it's here for adoption again.
Okay, looking for a mover, Councillor Sandhu, seconded by Councillor Vomaka. Any more discussion on that bylaw? Then I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion is carried. Thank you very much. We have no new business. Then we have the mayor's report. I would like to include all the councillors in this report, if I may. There was a discussion previous to this be a great opportunity for all of council to give a personal Christmas message to the residents of the town. So I don't know if you are prepared, and I'm sorry if you're on the hot seat, but if all you say is Merry Christmas, that'd be awesome. If Councillor McGonigal wants to put on his Cindy Lulu outfit again, that's awesome too. So thank you. I will go in order on my screen. Councillor Vomaka, please.
I thought you'd go alphabetically and I would be safe. Thank you. I just want to say it's been a very challenging year for not only our residents, but also our council and our members of staff. And I think this little community, I'm so proud that it's come through it in flying colors. Businesses have been challenged and we've all banded together and done well. I know residents have been very accommodating with all the social distancing and the mask and everything else. And I just wanted to say we truly are blessed to be in this small community that we're in. And so I'd like to just take the time to wish our staff and our residents a very Merry Christmas. And we've got through this, so I think 2021 can only be better. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Thank you. Very nice, Councillor Vomaka. Thanks. Now we'll go to Councillor Austin.
Well, I think Lorna said it all. Councillor Vomaka said it all, but I'd just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas as well, and health and happiness. And I'm hoping that 2021 will be better for us all. I do worry about those that are home alone this Christmas, but hopefully people will phone them, or I even sent out a few extra cards this year to people I never send cards to say I'm thinking about you. And I know we're going to FaceTime with our family on Christmas Day. I know everybody doesn't do that, but we can do that. So we're going to try. And I just hope everybody has a really safe holiday season, especially seeing as I heard three fire sirens yesterday. I don't know if they were all accidents or not, but that was kind of scary. So, and that's it. Just Merry Christmas, and let's have a good, safe 2021, and injections for all if they want them.
Thank you very much, Councillor Austin. Councillor Sandhu.
Well, I just wanted to wish our staff, all our businesses, our residents, a very Merry Christmas. We all have said 2020 has been a trying year, to say the least. And I just want to thank every business community in this community that opened their doors every day to try to help the residents with their needs so they didn't have to leave Lake Cowichan. So we're very blessed with our local businesses and health and wellness. We don't know what 2021 is going to bring, but we just have to keep on being positive and keep in our bubble, wear our mask, keep our distance, and just love from a distance. So anyway, Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much, Councillor Sandhu. Very nice. Councillor McGonigal.
Thank you, Mayor Day. You never know what's going to come out of this mouth, do you?
Bring it on.
Everybody's watching. First of all, I'd just like to extend my thanks to each and every one of you for getting us through this difficult year. Some tumultuous times, but here we are, the last meeting in December. And I want to wish staff and our employees all the best during this festive time. And those at home, however you celebrate, please do so safely and enjoy those that you can. I think it's more important now than ever that we keep our bubbles small during this festive time. It's so tempting to want to invite family, daughters, sons, grandchildren, but this isn't the time to do it. And in 2021, we'll have that opportunity. So let's keep the bubble small so it doesn't burst. So to each and every one of you, staff, employees, fellow councillors, Mayor Day, and those watching, I wish you all the best, however you celebrate this year.
Thank you very much, Councillor McGonigal. And I guess that's my turn now. I had to write all this down. There's too much to, but I'll try and keep it as brief as I can. The meaning of Christmas to me is based on Christianity. For others, I know your beliefs may vary, but most of us will likely agree the holiday season is a time for giving. The Cats and Museum Society, the Lake Cowichan Fire Department, the Cowichan Lake District Chamber of Commerce, Cowichan Lake Community Services, Cowichan Lake Community Garden Society, the Cowichan Lake Recreation Commission, Cowichan Lake Communities in Bloom, the Lake Cowichan Legion Branch 210, Lake Cowichan Cadets Club, the Lake Cowichan Kinsman Club, the Cowichan Lake Lions Club, and the Lake Cowichan Elks Club, and pardon me while I carry on, the 100 Laker Women, the Cowichan Lake Rocks Curling Association, the Cowichan Lake Trailblazers Society, the Cowichan Lake Garden Club, the Cowichan Lake and River Stewardship Society, the Paulson Parent Advisory Committee, the LCS Parent Advisory Committee, Cowichan Lake Salmonoid Enhancement, Cowichan Lake Pickleball Club, Cowichan Lake Slow Pitch Association, Lake Day Celebration Society, Cowichan Lake Food Bank Society, Lake Cowichan Advisory Planning Commission, Cowichan Lake Minor Baseball Association, Cowichan Lake District Minor Hockey Association, Mesa Mi Beta Sigma Phi, Lake Cowichan Lady of the Lake Society, Evergreen Seniors Association, King George Seniors Housing Society, Olson Manor Seniors Living Society, Golden Ager Society, and the Cowichan Lake Elder Care Society, the various strata councils, and all our local places of worship. I mention all these associations and organizations because each person affiliated to one or more of these groups gives the most valuable gift of all to our community, time. I believe I can speak for everyone sitting at our table that we are truly thankful for the time you all give to making our community a better place to live every day. The police, the fire and ambulance attendants, doctors, nurses, and all the healthcare workers, transit drivers, local government workers, local councils, grocery store and other retail employees, school teachers, and all the support staff for the above. We must not forget to be extremely thankful for the service these frontline workers have provided over the past several months. While we have all been told to social distance and stay in our bubbles, they have gone to work every day to provide the basic services we all need to be comfortable during the pandemic. And in doing so, they put their own health and that of their families' health at risk. We need to all reflect back on the year that will soon be behind us and celebrate the adversities we may have endured, such as COVID-19 or a death of a beloved one, and so on. We must also celebrate the joys we have witnessed, perhaps the birth of a child, a retirement, a graduation, and etc. Joy and adversity is what gives us all the perspective of what life is all about. Be kind, be calm, be safe has been a message for most of 2020. Now, during the holiday season, let us all be giving, be thankful, and be generous with the most precious gifts we can offer one another, especially our loved ones, time. Relax, rejuvenate your mind for whatever the year 2021 has in store for us. We have proven that together as a community, as a province, and as a country, that when we all work together, we can get through the most difficult times. So there is no doubt in my mind that the year ahead will be a lot easier for all of us as we begin to put the effects of COVID-19 behind us and carry on our lives with what will most likely be called the new normal. Merry Christmas to everybody on the town council and staff. Merry Christmas to the whole community. Happy holidays to everyone. Thank you very much. Any notices of motion, Councillor Austin?
Not a notice of motion. That was a great speech. That was very good, and thank you for that. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, they want everybody to go outside and bang pots and make noise for all the frontline workers to thank them for this last year. They're doing it tomorrow night because, of course, the next night is Christmas Eve. So if we can remember to do that and make a big racket here so people know that we care about them.
Thank you, Councillor Austin. Well, you brought that up. Are there any other small events that anybody would like to bring to the public's awareness? So with that, we have question period. Mr. Fernandez, we can't hear you.
You want me to read the in-camera stuff, or do you want to go check the? I'll go check the.
You could read the in-camera stuff while we're waiting for questions from the public.
Okay, I'll do that. But then you have to adjourn. That's the problem. Let me go quickly and check it.
Okay.
I'm unmuted because I want you to see my new man here for Christmas. Can you see his?
Got a mask.
Oh, he's wearing his mask. Yes.
Good
And
for
watch.
him.
Yep.
And thanks. Santa.
All right.
That looks like your dad, her dad.
Now, how can that not make you want to dance and sing?
Yeah.
I think Mr. Fernandez was.
Have a Santa thing.
Well, before I read that a little bit, I want to wish council, all of staff, and all of the residents who've been very kind to us all year long a very Merry Christmas. And I think it's been timely that we got some snow finally.
Thank you very much. I take it there's no questions from the public.
No questions from the public.
All right. And thank you for those comments. All right. So we are going to go in camera. Mr. Fernandez.
All right. We'll go into camera as soon as I get my notes here. Section 92 of the Community Charter requires that before a meeting or part of a meeting is closed to the public, council must state by resolution why the meeting is to be closed, and the basis on which the meeting is to be closed. Falls under Section 91A, dealing with appointments, Section 91C, dealing with labor relations, and Section 91K, dealing with negotiations and related discussions on any new municipal service.
I would move that we go in camera.
And the seconder, Councillor Vomaka. All right. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. So thank you very much, public, for joining us tonight. And we will now adjourn and go in camera. And we will see you all again in the new year. Thank you very much.
Okay, so if I may, I will shut this down and then reopen it. Okay,
So
give us 5 minutes.
you'll send us a new link?